Hi there. It's your second favorite DP right here, okay? No, that's Deadpool, you silly little Hufflepuff. Anyways, I'm gonna need you to shut up that pretty little mouth of yours and pay attention because the show's about to start, alright? And, I don't know about you, but I know who's my vote for sexiest ex-soldier turned pop culture show host. Alright, enough foreplay. Let's get on with the show.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome one and all. Today is March 7th, 2023. This is episode 125 of Pop Culture Warrior. It's the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I am CQ, I am your Pop Culture Warrior, and joining me tonight, I teased it right there, is a returning special guest co-host. Everybody give it up for the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the Angry Elf. Everybody, yay!
Yep, I'm back.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Exactly.
he's having some connection issues, so we're gonna ride the lightning. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
Roll the dice and see what happens. But welcome back, bud. How you doing, man?
Good, you man?
Oh, living the dream, brother. Living the dream. So many things to talk about.
Yeah.
And right off the top, I just want to say two big shout out to our guests coming up later tonight. Miss Debi Mae West. She is a phenomenal voice actor. She was Meryl in all of the Metal Gear Solid games. She's one of the characters, Maeve, in World of Warcraft. She's done so much. She's one of the, what's her name? Oh, man. Crap, I'm going to forget the name. But from Naruto. She's one of the characters in Naruto. She's like 100 and 200 and something episodes of Naruto. So she is a living legend, and very excited to talk to her tonight about all that. So yeah. Hey, what's up? Hey, real quick, let's shout out to everybody who's out there.
Yeah.
Keith Miller, man, appreciate you, bud. I see you, Pete. How's it going, Pete? Heath in the chats. We got James Prance. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. If you're watching, there goes Angry Elf. If you're watching, go ahead and shoot us a message, man. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know where you're at. We want to see. We want to get to know you guys. We want to get to know you guys and see what's good with y'all. I'm gonna see if I can bring Angry Elf, buddy. You're leaving me out here. You're leaving me out to dry, but that's okay. We still love you. Man. But with that, let me see if we can get this going here. Bringing him back. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. Nope. It's not working. It's all right. But none of your... I see you, Mike. How you doing, bud? How's everybody doing tonight? It's just, it wouldn't be a show. Wouldn't be a show if we didn't have some type of technical difficulties. Hey, man, you can hear me? Elf, you there? Can you hear me? Nope, he can't hear me. That's all right. We're gonna make the best of it. Let's see. Heath, the Patreon is paying off. God bless you, Heath. I think you're due for one of the challenge coins, man. I think you're due for a challenge coin, brother. So I gotta get you out one of those, and we'll see how that's shaping up. Let's see if we got. Hey, Elf, welcome back.
yeah. I guess this is gonna be touch and go all night.
This is gonna be a fun night.
Yeah.
We'll make this quick. Mike's out there saying, make sure you put another AOL disc in quick. So he's got that. Appreciate you.
I got all those discs ready.
Yeah, line him up, line him up. Dude, it's
Yeah.
so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Man,
Where do we want to start?
there's so much. So okay, remind me again. I know, like you're into Star Wars for sure, but
Oh yeah.
I've heard you say before you're in the camp of where like I like to binge it all at once. I don't like to watch it episode by episode.
Oh, so
Unless
in
it's The
some things,
Mandalorian.
yes. Oh yeah, I've already watched. Yes, Mando. Yeah, certain
Yeah.
things. Yes, Last of Us. I already got into it. If my wife is watching, she's gonna come up and smack me in the head in a minute. No, I want to watch Last of Us straight through.
Sure.
First to last episode as best we can. A couple weeks ago, I walked downstairs. She's got something on. I'm like, "What are you watching?" Last of Us.
Oh.
And she's like, "What?" She didn't know I hadn't said anything, and she's like, "What?" And we had one of our like 30-second fights.
Little
where it's
little
like,
tiff. You had a little tiff.
yeah, and
little
I was like,
dispute.
I want to watch that. So, but no, it's like one of the other shows that we're trying to binge watch, Poker Face. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah. I haven't seen. I'm not up to date. I think I saw like the first and second episode, but I'm not. Up
We
to date on it.
watched before we went on vacation. We watched the first 7 episodes like straight through, and it's pretty good. And we got 3 episodes. Well, excuse me, the last episode should drop this week. So this weekend we should watch the last 3 and get caught up and finish it. But Mando, go back to circle back. Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen the
So
first
man,
episode.
okay, you're caught up on Mando. What'd you think of the opening episode for the season?
Recap episode. That's really what I thought of it.
Filler.
I mean,
the filler episode.
Nah, it's more like a recap episode, kind of like, hey, if you didn't watch Mando 2.5, other words known as Book of Boba Fett,
Yeah.
this is where we sit. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, I need to get this thing, rebuilt.
Yeah.
That I haven't touched.
You're
since
pissed
the end
at
of the
me
first-
for this reason. I got to do this thing. I have this thing that I shouldn't have, and I got to, take him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see where we stand tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know if anyone can tell a difference. We took a step forward in technology here at the station. I am now streaming in 4K resolution. So do let me know if you see a difference. I'd love to know if people can actually see a difference. I've stepped up the quality from 1080 to 4K, and literally, this is what it allows me to do. I just dun 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 things like that. It allows me to do because I'm now streaming in 4K, and he's frozen. Which, oh god, somebody clip that. That's a great face to be frozen to. So we'll tuck that away for now. But yeah, or if you guys really want to see what it looks like off camera, here you go. Here's a much wider shot. You can see all my junk just off camera, and what I try to hide from the audience. So, yeah, that's the fun that 4K brings you. You get to do things like that. So
Culture
exciting.
Warrior episode without some problems, huh? Wouldn't be a Pop Culture Warrior episode without some technical problems. Right?
Yes, thank you for it's like you're wearing the uniform. You're playing the part perfectly. So we are now streaming in 4K, and very exciting. I don't know if anyone's gonna see a difference on the back end of it, but hey, hey Tommy, what's up, man? We are killing it, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Getting people to watch something live on a Tuesday night, talking nonsense about TVs and movies, is not an easy feat. It's not an easy feat if you're not a celebrity. So I appreciate all. I think we have across all of our media, we're at like 35 people watching. So I'm very excited.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Tommy, be better. Hey man, share it out. Let your folks know. You bring your friends. I'll bring mine. Let's, what's up? I already brought 10 of my friends. So, so there you go. I need people to share it out. Let people know we're watching. Keith says I need to exfoliate. Yeah. Those real closes are are not user friendly. Did the 4K delete the YouTube counter display? I don't know, man. I don't know. Tommy, you want to come on board? Tommy says he's hilarious. I don't know, man. You want to come on board? Bring it. Shoot me your resume, bro. We'll bring you on. I'm excited. I'm as Angry Elf can tell you. I'm looking for a co-host. If you're funny, come on board, man.
Yeah.
Jump in the bubble one night, and we'll run you through the rotation. We'll see if you got the chops. But going back to it, speaking of The Last of Us, so this was the penultimate episode. Next week is the season finale. So if you're waiting to binge, next Sunday is your day, because that'll be the ultimate season finale of this first season, which they've already been greenlit for a second season. How cool that this episode 8 of 9, reached 8.1 million viewers, which was a season high. And, this is second to last episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, name a show anywhere in history that got more and more viewers every episode through the first season. I mean, it's breaking records every episode. Excuse me. It's Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's practically unheard of. I'm gonna pop it a cough mint because I coughed.
If it's not my internet connection, it's your voice, man.
Yeah,
like
your internet, my voice. You're both
dropping.
But anyway, so so the idea that this show just continues to grow is so phenomenal. They're doing it so well. I saw a quote or like a tweet or something from the what's the show? Oh man, there's another show that they're doing based off a video game, and they're like, man, like the Last of Us just raised the bar big time. It was one of Amazon Prime shows, and they're like, as far as adaptations, it might have been the Fallout adaptation that they're doing or something, but they're like,
oh, okay,
yeah, they're like
I
set
thought
the
you meant
bar.
something else on the air now.
Oh no, something that they're working on behind the scenes, and they're like, man, they're setting the bar so high for video game adaptations, and as they should be, as they really should be. So what else we got? Oh, we'd have to it's it says, unfortunately, the live indicator is blocking Angry Elf. Here, you know what? Let me see if I can help you out with that. I feel bad. You apparently your face is getting cut off on certain devices. So let's see if I can help you with that.
Am I getting? Is it because I'm too ugly?
Well, half a dozen of one.
Oh.
There we go. Let's see if that fixes things. Hopefully that helps. I'm on the fly editing the graphics of the show. God bless. All right. So only of you. You guys are funny. And there he goes. See, this is why I don't do nice things for people. So anyway, while he's coming back, one of the things we got to talk about tonight is the fact that they just announced. Well, they didn't announce. They've announced a while ago that there's going to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, an animated movie. And I'll be honest. I mean, I grew up a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. It was probably one of the biggest properties when I was a kid. And I remember seeing, was it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze in theaters is where I saw it. And it was such a big part of my childhood. I had the toys, the action figures, all that. So I've seen just about every iteration that's come out in the past, from cartoons to movies, everything. Probably like the last 2 or 3 cartoons probably I haven't watched because, kind of aged out that demographic a bit. But up to then I'd seen everything. And so it's announced that they're making this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie. Seth Rogen was going to produce. And I'll be honest, I was the first one that I was like, I don't know about this, man. Elf, when you first heard that they're doing it and it's Seth Rogen and he's doing Turtles, I mean, I can't imagine the hype was there.
I thought a little bit of toilet humor. I didn't know, was this going to be appropriate for the kiddies?
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
you know, that sort of thing. I thought, what's that movie he did? The End of the World.
Yeah.
This is the end.
This is the end. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking about, you know, with some mutants in it. And it kind of, you know, then I saw the trailer. I've seen the figures that Playmates is producing. I think it's got the potential, man.
Yeah. So
the
to
art-
catch, oh, sorry, to catch everyone up to speed.
Yeah.
To let people know, in case you haven't seen the trailer that just came out, I'm gonna go ahead and play the trailer, and then we'll break it. Well, we're not gonna break it down, but we'll let the people see what it is, and then and then we can talk about it more. So let me cue it up here. All right, here's the trailer for TMNT Mutant Mayhem.
Stay still. Stay still.
Now. Oh! Let's try that again, but with ninja stars.
Hey, why did we pick a fruit shaped exactly like my head?
Just stop talking. You're ruining my concentration.
You're fine. Chill. He's gonna die.
Can I kick it? Can I kick it? Can I kick it? Can I kick it? What the heck are those things? They look more like little Shreks to me. Oh, we've prepared our whole lives for this. Can I kick it?
Oh my, I'm gonna be sick.
Leo, what happened? Is Donnie bleeding?
It was an accident. Mikey, watch out!
So, you were baby turtles who made contact with mystery goo.
Well, we prefer the term ooze, but yeah.
It's like more like, it's just nicer.
It rolls off the tongue better, yeah.
Ooze. It's nice, right? It's ooze.
This film is not yet rated.
And we're back. I just turned off his camera, but Angry Elf is still with us. Okay, you there, bud?
Yep, I'm still here.
Just gotta check. Just gotta make sure. Gotta get a pulse on these things. But yeah. So there you have it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. To answer Mike's question, it's obviously an animated movie, and we were just talking about it during that it very much has the feel of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. A very like this kind of cross between animation and sort of CGI, but very cell driven. It's obviously, you know, I don't know. And we, it's obviously a situation where it's a Nickelodeon movie, so it's got to be aimed at kids, but it's the talent that they're pulling in for this thing is quite incredible. Let me pull up my notes here. For those that don't know about this, first off, one of the things that they did was actually cast teenagers to play the Turtles, which is awesome. Like that's a like, how hard of a decision was that? Like the first time they hired Tom Holland to play Spider-Man, like, oh shit, they hired a teenager to play Spider-Man. First time in history. So
yeah.
On top of that, so you got these relatively, you know, unknowns to play the Turtles, but then you're going to surround them with some of the biggest talent in Hollywood. So in no particular order, you got Jackie Chan playing Master Splinter, which the rat has a fro, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
So Jackie Chan there. You've got Seth Rogen voicing Bebop, John Cena voicing Rocksteady. So you got Bebop and Rocksteady. You got Giancarlo Esposito playing Baxter Stockman.
That's perfect.
Paul Rudd, freaking Ant-Man over here playing Mondo Gecko. You got who else? Maya Rudolph is playing Cynthia Utrum. Ice Cube playing Superfly, Post Malone playing Ray Fillet, Hannibal Buress, Genghis Frog, just like a slew, a bevy, if you will, of really established, well-known talent. Which for them, I mean, let's be honest, this has got to be a nice payday for them. You know, you go in the booth, you do the Zoom recording, and then you call it a day. You don't got to worry about being on camera or anything like that. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, kind of thinking about the lineup of, you got Bebop Rocksteady, got it. They're part of the foot. Same with Baxter Stockman, but the rest of these Ninja Turtle characters that are showing up, Genghis Kong, Mondo Gecko, this does kind of feel like a Into the Spider-Verse in the sense that like you're gonna pull from all over the Turtleverse to kind of fill out, and who knows what'll happen if this movie does well, and I'm fairly certain it will. And they do part 2. Are they going to include? What's the damn rabbit? The samurai rabbit's name?
Oh,
Yoshi.
yes.
Yambu.
My God, I forgot all about that. Well, what about what's the hockey guy? Casey Jones. Casey Jones. Where's Casey Jones? Where's Shredder? Where's Kang? What's his name? Not Kang.
Yeah.
Craig.
Krang. Well,
Krang.
That
Krang. Little brain thing.
But the Miley, whatever her name is, playing the Utrom.
Yeah.
That's one of the Krangs. So
that's true.
So who knows how this whole thing. All I know is Shredder's not in this. Of course, if this does well, maybe there's a post-credit scene that the Shredder shows up.
Tease,
like
tease.
I'm gonna get you turtles or something like that. I'm gonna dine on turtle soup.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of stoked. It's this, the Mario movie, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's my summer right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of and it's so right around the corner. I feel like it snuck up on us. Because usually you make an announcement like this, and you're like, well, in a year or two, we're going to see this. It's like, bitch, in 4 months, it's going to be in theaters. You're like, oh, shit, okay. That just came up on us real quick.
I thought it
was August.
4 months?
August, yeah, sorry, no,
It's
August. That's what, 5 months?
Okay.
Yeah, 5 months. But still,
okay.
right around the corner.
I was just like, wait a minute, I've got to clear my schedule if it's 4 months from now.
It's right around the corner. But yeah, my favorite comment was somebody's like that was saying not really with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but like we've had Sonic, we've had Pikachu, we've had now Mario Brothers coming out that they're on the slide trying to build the goddamn Smash Brothers universe, and we're gonna get like an Avengers style crossover called Super Smash Brothers, and it's gonna be all these Nintendo intellectual properties coming together to save the freaking multiverse or whatever. Which I'd go see it. I mean, you're gonna put all of them in there? Yeah, why not? Screw it. So what else we got? Lots to go. By the way, if I can talk to you, the audience, for a second, just wanted to ask. I had this idea. I've been playing around with it. I got to figure out how to execute it. But the general idea is, obviously I want to talk about things that I'm excited about and things that I get, all excited about, whatever. But the other part of it is I want to talk about stuff that you guys are excited about. So I was trying to think, there's got to be a way that, I don't know, I can create a poll or maybe on the WTF Nation radio website, we'll create a poll or something where like you can cast votes on what you'd like us to talk about. And then we'll, whatever the popular answers are, then that will be, what we talk about that night. I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in or just hear me ramble about the things that I get nerdy about and I get excited for. I mean, either way. I don't know. Elf, what do you think? Is some type of way for the audience to vote?
Yes, I think it should be, maybe post it over the weekend, Friday, and then let them over the weekend,
A comment from the...
What?
That was good. Like, we aren't going to do your job for you. All right,
Ah,
kudos. I'll give you that
Yep.
one. I'll give you that one.
Yep.
That's fair
It
enough.
sounds like the audience shot it down. All right,
Yeah,
back
fair
at square
enough.
one.
Fair enough.
Better yet, how about this? You know what? How about this? Your Avengers level of the Patreons, they can be producer credits, and they can help you set up and choose the topics for the show.
Oh,
you
that's
know,
that's already a thing, man. That's all right. People can. I say, if you're a Patreon of the show, you can damn run the damn thing if you want.
all right.
Anyway,
Next on the Angry Elf Show.
next on. Oh, here's one. Here's a topic I want to talk about while I've got you.
Yeah, before my internet craps out again.
The Walking Dead star, former star, Stephen Yeun, remember Glenn from The Walking Dead? He has will be joining the Marvel's MCU. I don't know if you've heard about this, but he's joining the Thunderbolts in a key role, which is yet to be specified. There's some theories. But basically, Stephen Yeun, best known for his roles in The Walking Dead. Also, he's the voice of Invincible in the animated TV show on Amazon Prime. He'll be joining the MCU in the upcoming Thunderbolts film adaptation. They just broke the news in a part, and here's the quote. He's cast in a part that is not only significant to this film, but could be a major role going forward in future films. So go ahead.
I'm blanking. I'm blanking. I got no idea. Who do you think?
So the front runner theory, and it's a bit of a stretch. I'm not sure where people are getting this idea from, but Sentry.
That's right. I did hear that. Yes, I did hear that.
It's basically, for those that don't know, he's like the evil Superman character in the MCU. He's this all-powerful being. But it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to simplify it. Right. He was a good guy, but it was like a brainwash thing, and then he came back, but then it was to hide this evil personality. It was a whole thing. But the way I think they're going for it, to the reports, is that they're leaning towards the kind of evil Superman. So something like Hyperion is another version of similar to that character. So so it's one of those things. This Thunderbolts movie is shaping up to be something that I really want to see. It's like the Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. Because you're bringing back Florence Poe as Yelena Belova, Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier, David Harbour as Red Guardian, Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra DeFontaine, Wyatt Russell's coming back as U.S. Agent, Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, Olga, and I can't even pronounce her last name, Kurliovliklo, who played Taskmaster. Harrison Ford is coming on board to play Thunderbolt Ross, obviously in place of the former William Hurt, who had the character and passed away, unfortunately. So I mean, this is shaping up to be a movie that I really, really want to see, and that I'm really excited to see. So we'll see how it shapes up. But I mean, it is just a star-studded cast, and now bringing in Stephen Yeun, that's huge. And David Harbour, he'd even kind of let it slip. This guy's known for his loose lips, where he said, this is in an interview, he said, I haven't read the script, but I've been told the arc of the story and how the story goes. It's very cool. It's very unique. It also has all this cool action and comedy. From what I've been described, there is a bomb drop thing that we add to the universe, which will be very exciting for the movie to do at the end, which, is at that particular phase that they're ending. So a lot of rampant speculation about, what this bomb drop's going to be and how it's going to, I feel like we've heard this so many times where it's like, this will change the universe going forward. I feel like that's the MCU slogan at this point. So
you mean see. Like dropping a a celestial at the North Pole. No one talks about it for about a week.
That's such a man. That's God. I still I don't understand what the thought was with that. Like, I don't know. That still
Yeah.
bothers me. That's still like that at that size, and I feel like we're retreading old shit we used to talk about. But at that size, like that's gonna throw off the rotation of the Earth. Like the Earth wouldn't rotate. Like seasons would be changing. Our orbit is gonna change. Like you can't just do that. You can't just.
I don't know.
I
don't know. You know, the recent news out of that the House of the Mouse is that there's a regime change with the writers and stuff like that. Maybe this is true. Yada yada yada. Not to get into that BS, but maybe they'll get some actual writers in there that can like keep the continuity straight.
Yeah, I don't know. Scott says, imagine they do Thunderbolts versus the Avengers. That's a possibility. So in the comic books, there was the Thunderbolts for a while, and eventually they became what was the Dark Avengers, where each member of the Thunderbolts essentially represented, a version of the Avengers. So like, was it Dakin replaced Wolverine and Ares
Venom
replaced Thor and Venom replaced Spider-Man and all these versions, like, so it was the Avengers, but they were really bad guys. So those are the Dark Avengers.
The original version of the Thunderbolts came about after the Avengers and the Fantastic Four disappeared.
Right.
After Onslaught. Yes, I'm about to certify that I am a Marvelite and I am certified to run the MCU. But yes, in the absence of the Avengers, the Thunderbolts stepped up, trying to kind of fill that gap, try to take advantage of the lack of the Avengers. And these villains decided that they liked being heroes more than being mock heroes. And they, for the most part, stayed heroes.
Yeah, for the most part.
Heath
says no, he's not going to play. He thinks Stephen Yeun will play Cannonball / Vengeance. Which, if he plays Cannonball has one of the most unique. Is an interesting arc. I think his most notable footprint in comics was when he basically led into the removal of mutants. Basically, right? It was his Cannonball's action when he blew up that he was all high on the mutant growth hormone and he blew up like a whole city, and then it started. That's when it started. That started Civil War.
That was not Cannonball. That was Speedball.
That's right.
Speedball.
That was Speedball.
Yes.
It was one of the balls. I don't know.
Cannonball. No.
And we lost him. So this is great. I don't have to. I can just talk right over it. Not Harry. So Mike says, didn't Harry Osborn form them? No, that was Norman Osborn. Again, oh my God, it's such a convoluted thing. But I think that was after the Skrull invasion. He came out kind of on top as the hero. Everybody forgets, oh, he was Green Goblin, but now he's a good guy. So he basically took over S.H.I.E.L.D., and then he formed the Dark Avengers, which with nefarious reasons, of course, but whatever. It is what it is. Either way, it'd be interesting to see what they end up doing with that franchise and with those characters. I'm curious to see. Elf, well, I got you.
Yes.
I found something that I thought would be perfect for you, because you and I are very similar in this. A new study has found that adults buying toys for themselves are responsible for a quarter of all toy sales. So if you look at all toys sold across the United States, a quarter of that is adults. I mean, they're all bought by adults, obviously, but a quarter of that is adults buying the toys for themselves.
And
go ahead.
And of that 25%, I think I make up about 80% of that.
80%
You've
of the
seen my
time.
pictures that I've posted on the internet.
Yeah.
Yes, that's me. That's me
Yeah.
to a T.
I mean, people can obviously see my background. I mean, a lot of these are just call it what it is. Yeah, a lot of these are just toys. There are a lot of toys. They're just really toys. Keith says, "Why are you attacking me?" We all feel attacked. We all feel attacked.
I'm not attacking. I'm empathizing. I am a adult. I wear that title proudly. It's on my resume.
I like
adult. That's the thing.
I like that. I'm gonna adopt that. Adult. Scott wants to know, when you say toys, what is the criteria to be eligible to be considered a toy? I think they mean legitimately things that you'd find in the toy aisle. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, collectibles that like maybe you have to pre-order. I mean, it still classifies as a toy. You know, I mean, this is a limited edition replica prop of, whatever you want to call it. It's a toy. It's a toy. It's fine. It's fine. It's a toy.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it costs $5, $10, $500, $1,000. If it has articulation, it has soft goods. If it is a character in some form of franchise, TV, movie, etc., it fits.
Yeah. we don't judge here. We don't mock. No. We don't judge. We love. Some of these are high-end replicas. Like my Captain America shield, that's not something you buy in a store. I bought that at a machine metal shop made that. You know, the Loki scepter up there, that is a made again by a metal shop that made that. But some of those things, Hasbro, the flux capacitor, I bought that on on a kid's website. Negan's bat up there, Lucille, that's made by Spawn creator Todd McFarlane, his McFarlane Toys.
Todd's Toys.
It's literally called McFarlane Toys. So I mean, is the name of the company. So by all means,
Yes, but you want to talk about Todd, or excuse me, I keep calling him Todd Toys. McFarlane Toys. McFarlane is killing it. If anybody is a DC fan and they like Batman, Superman, etc., McFarlane Toys is killing it with that stuff, man. Because I don't know if you know this, over the course of the last, we'll say 2 years, prices of collectibles and toys have gone up by I think it's like 30%.
Crazy amounts.
Yeah, but Todd McFarlane, God rest his soul, he's kept that stuff. Like his prices have only gone up about $1.50. If Todd wasn't a Canadian, I'd say he needs to run for president because Todd's doing a great job. He knows how to run a toy company. He should be able to run a country.
You probably can't see it, but right. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's see if I can do this. Hey, that's it. Right there. You know what? You know what? Screw it. This is what the 4K was for. Hang on. Let's see. Let's see how close I can get this sucker in there. Get in there. Can you see it now? Let's see. Hold on. There it is. Right there is a Lego DeLorean. Lego Time Machine DeLorean. That's a Back to the Future DeLorean. Speaking specifically, we're talking about the collectibles going up. That thing was like $99 when it was on pre-order. Oh, cool, man. I'm a big nerd, so I'm like, yeah, I'll buy one. Latest street value is $250. $250 for that in a box. And for some Lego bits. Some Lego bits, I mean,
Legos are overrated.
Oh wow. Legos are. Hold on. Let's see if I bring you back on camera. As you're surrounded by all your collectibles, because God forbid,
I don't have
the one thing you don't have is Legos.
No, I don't. I've got Transformers. I got Voltron. I've got Star Wars galore. I've got Hot Toys. You name a character from a major Marvel franchise, I've got it. Yes, I've got more Tony Starks than Tony Stark has of himself.
You have more suits of armor than Tony Stark himself. Gotcha.
Yes.
Uh,
If they were life size, I could recreate that scene from Iron
oh,
Man 3
man.
at the end. Yeah. Anyways, here we go.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
Mike says he paid $300 for a Lego DeLorean for the wife this Christmas. What?
if you're gonna spend that type of money, you should have dropped it on Hot Toys DeLorean and just received your DeLorean this week. God,
Yeah,
that thing looks
they're
mint.
gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I will tell you something cool, and I just found this.
Yeah.
I should have pulled it. I should have pulled a picture of it if I knew we were going to talk about it. But there's this company that basically, and I'm like, what a great idea. They do light kits for Legos, for Lego builds. So my Back to the Future Lego, they have a light kit designed for it where you replace out certain things like the headlights, some of the underneath places, and they replace them. They give you replacement parts that have little LEDs in it. So it turns your little Lego car into this like light up masterpiece. Like it's like $20-$30. But I was like, I'm so tempted. It's literally sitting in my Amazon cart now as we speak.
Do it.
But I'm like,
Do it.
I'm never gonna turn it on. That's the thing. I would put the effort and time into it, and I'll never turn it on. Like, that's the thing.
Do it.
Do
it.
First
you know
of all,
why?
Almost all these things light up. The scepter, the glove, the hammer, the helmets, the case, the flux capacitor. All these things light up. Have you ever seen them lit up? My lightsaber, all that stuff. Never learned.
You know what? Every once in a while, I go over to my Proton Pack and I just flip that switch just to hear that sound. In fact, I'll do you the honor right now just to hear that sound. Why? Because, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Yes. Why? Because I can. Yes. You know, maybe I feel like I want to be Peter Venkman for the day. Maybe I want to be Egon, you know?
We gotta make a shirt that says "We are the 25%."
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just all the little toys on a shirt.
CQ.
Yeah.
On my other side of the stuff I do on Facebook and stuff like that, we could do a crossover. Let me bring this up in my Discord. I'll get back to you. There might be something there. We may have something. We may have just stepped into the 22nd century.
Your people call my people. We do the thing.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. I'm thinking like, yeah, we can absolutely cross promote that. I love that. We are the 25%. We are the people that buy the toys.
Exactly.
Keith says, I buy toys my wife does not enjoy. Fair enough.
Let me put it to you this way. Every time I get a shipping notice, I'm like, in fact, Michelle, if you're watching right now, yes, I have a box coming tomorrow. There's a box coming from FedEx tomorrow.
And he's gone. So, I mean, it's good stuff. It's all good stuff. We're all very, very excited. So let's see what else we got going on. Oh man, there's been so much in the news. Oh my God, one of the biggest stories breaking today, and I'm excited. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm excited for it. For a while, sorry, I just brain farted. So for a while now, we've known that Daredevil. We've known. Hey, welcome back, Angry. We've known that Daredevil is coming back. He's born again, coming back to the MCU. They're bringing back Charlie Cox. We saw him in She-Hulk. We saw Vincent D'Onofrio in the Hawkeye show. So we know they're bringing these guys back. We know Daredevil's coming back. It was just reported today, breaking news, that John Bernthal's Punisher is coming back. He will be reprising the role in the series Daredevil Born Again. Now, I took it with a grain of salt, as I always do. Anytime you get these breaking news and it's coming from somewhere other than Marvel, I always take it with a grain of salt, right? When it's coming from like comicbook.com or fucking marvelinsiders.net. It's always speculation. But when John Bernthal himself posts a clip of him in his house, and it's he has like one of those Adirondack chairs, but it's built in the Punisher logo, and it's just zoomed in on the logo playing the Punisher music, and then he walks into frame and kind of just sits down, and you're like, oh yeah, oh this is happening, this is happening. I had the biggest shit-eating grin on my face, as if like my best friend just hit the lotto or something. But I liked it.
Yeah.
Did you like his Punisher, his version of the Punisher?
Oh yeah. Now, yes. In fact, I'm looking at his hot toy variant right now.
You're looking at his hot body?
Oh yeah. But here's the question I have: who's been following the Marvel comics? The
Okay.
actual comic character of
Frank
Frank Castle.
Yeah.
They, the long and short of it is, they handed him over to the Hand, and he doesn't use machine guns or firearms anymore. He uses swords.
Yeah.
So, how is the MCU going to handle this moving forward? We'll see.
I don't know. I don't think you bring a guy like John Bernthal in
No.
to work with
No.
swords. So I think they're going to go
No.
a much more traditional route. And I like seeing the gritty, take no prisoners. Personally, I liked like when he first came in the Daredevil series
Yes.
version of him versus like when he got his own solo show. It was a little more soft.
You know what I really liked? I really liked the Matt Murdock defending Frank Castle in court aspect of the story more so than I liked the Punisher versus Daredevil and all that stuff, because it was kind of like maybe to a degree it brought some realism to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally, like yes, that was good. I definitely did like when they went real gritty with it. So like I'm thinking the prison fight scene, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was
Yeah.
beautifully well shot, well choreographed, and just so on brand for someone like the Punisher, for Frank Castle.
Yes, especially when the blood kind of looked like his skull logo. Yeah,
so beautifully shot. It was awesome. But yeah, so we'll see obviously what that looks like moving forward. I do see our guest has joined us in the green room. Hi.
Yes.
We'll be with you momentarily as we wrap up here the first section of the show. Thank you for. She's awesome. If you're not 10 minutes early, you're late. No.
Yes. Oh yeah. She's
military. You're military on time. I like it.
Oh,
I like it.
She's been sitting there since about
5 minutes
8:30.
So one more thing before we go to break.
Sure.
I'm curious because you like me. You like Spider-Man just as much as I do. So
Yes.
Variety has reported that there is a Spider-Man live action series, allegedly headed to Amazon Prime. Now, how does this differ from any of the other Spider-Man properties? They're going for a Spider-Man noir live action show. So that's based off of the comic book character. He's been in video games. He was in the Spider-Man. What was the last Spider-Man movie? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That's the one. The animated Into the Spider-Verse. So so a live action noir series heading to Amazon Prime, written and developed apparently by the Into the Spider-Verse producers, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. So what do you think? You think a live action Spider-Man noir, you think that could be a hit?
No. No.
Nah.
No.
No.
I'm sorry. Too niche. It's not gonna work.
You don't think
I'm
so?
sorry.
You don't think a gritty, like a Daredevil version of Spider-Man, black? You can shoot it in black and white, go real gritty, hard-nosed detective style. You don't think? Spider-Man meets Batman kind of thing.
I'm sorry. It's too niche.
No.
It's too. Yeah. If it was Tom Holland doing some sort of in between movies Spider-Man thing, maybe if they did a live action version of Miles Morales, somebody that's a little bit more popular, yes. a Spider-Man Noir show. Sorry, I think that's gonna.
Scott in the chats, he says, if they can do a Detective Pikachu, they can do Spider-Man Noir.
A movie? Yes. Get Nick Cage to reprise the role?
Right.
Yes. A TV show? Sorry,
I don't know.
man.
I don't know. I'm intrigued. By the people that brought you Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, I don't know. I mean, had you told me before that could a Spider-Man Noir ever work outside of the comic books or video games, I would have said no way. And they made it work, so I don't know. Possible. It could. It could work.
He had like 20 minutes of screen time.
Well, agree to disagree.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm like, here's the thing. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I'm always excited when they want to give us a fresh take on something. I'm so happy when they're, because they could have easily been like, we're going to do Spider-Man Origins, Peter Parker before, whatever. And it's like okay, we've done that story. The same way I don't need another Batman movie. I don't need give me something different. Give me, Batman Beyond. Give me Terry McGinnis. Give me something.
Yeah, give me give me Batman Beyond.
Something outside of the same shit we tread on multiple times. So, I think I think we're at a point where, okay, we've seen the big three. We've seen the Batman, the Superman, we've seen the Iron Man, we've seen the Captain America. Like give us something different. Give us something, break the mold. Do something. My God, in Marvel Comics, in DC Comics, there's thousands of characters. There are thousands of characters. Why do we keep getting the same six?
Exactly.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready, especially when you've got things like Guardians of the Galaxy being huge and
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Yeah, there's so many properties showing that we're ready for something new. Heath says Jack of Hearts, Union Jack, Sasquatch. Yeah, any of that. I'm down.
Yeah.
Give
me Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight, yeah. X-Men.
Yeah, I saw something earlier today. Not to go too far into it, but it's like, hey, Disney and Marvel have had control of the X-Men for almost 2 years now.
Yep.
2-3 years. Where are we with
the X-Men? I'm okay with, because remember, they had a, whatever it was, 10-year plan before they got the rights to that. I'm happy they didn't just go, dump him in the next movie, because then it's not well thought out. So I'm glad they're taking their time to find the right place to plug that in. And I really do think we're going to get Fantastic Four before we get X-Men. But that being said, obviously we're all excited. We all want that. But yeah, no, I'm glad that they're taking their time and doing it the right way. Because that's what happened when DC decided they wanted to get in the game. They just went, Superman and Batman and Justice League. Woo! And we saw how that went. So, all right, guys, we are going to take a short break. I'm going to go chat with our lovely guest. And here at the top of the hour, we'll be back with our interview with the amazing Debi Mae West. Mr. Angry Elf, thank you for joining us in the first hour. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Battling through all of your connectivity issues, man. God bless you, brother. Do you want to say bye to the audience before we toss to a break?
Hey, folks, you have a good night. Enjoy the special guest, and I'm going to be working on my Wi-Fi router for the rest of the night. Thank you very much, CQ, for having me, and until next time, have a good one.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. All right, guys. We're going to toss to a quick break. And when we got back, we got our great guest coming on. So just hang tight, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Shuts.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, You there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, alright? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, what do you think because the show is going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And if I told you everything, I bet you cry and run away.
listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Warrior. I am, of course, CQ, and I am so freaking excited tonight. Oh, I've been looking forward to this one for a while. My guest tonight is an American voice actress who's been a voice for popular radio, television, animation, video games. She was Lucky on the 101 Dalmatians cartoon series. The promo voice for networks like HGTV, the Smithsonian Channel, Investigation Discovery, Starz/Encore. In 2008, she won a Spike Video Game Award for voicing Meryl Silverburgh in the Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots and Tsunade in Naruto. So like she's done it all. She's seen it all. She's going to give us a rundown of it all. So everyone, please give a warm welcome for my guest tonight, Miss Debi Mae West.
Oh, this is just a hologram version of me. Hi.
Hey, Debi.
Oh, look at her. She's gone porn. Lady Tsunade is now officially a porn star and a hologram. Yeah. Anyway,
hey, everybody's got to have an OnlyFans now, right? Does Tsunade have an OnlyFans? Is that what it is?
I don't know. Tsunade only. Yeah.
Hey,
anyway,
Debi.
Good evening. It's only 4 o'clock where I am, but 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
It is 9 o'clock on the East Coast, but you are dialing in from, I already forgot the name of it. God damn.
Kauai. I'm on the island of Kauai in the beautiful state of Hawaii.
Oh, my God.
And I did just get back from the East Coast, though, so I'm kind of tired. I'm a little off kilter, but anyway, it's 4 o'clock here. Aloha, as we say.
And you look wonderful. Thank you for joining us. I mean, like I can tell the bronze is just you're a surfer, aren't you? You do a lot of surfing.
I'm a surfer, but actually, this is kind of as white as I get because it's winter. So, yeah, and I'll probably be tanner in about 2 months. But yeah.
Oh man, I'm so jealous. I'm just so jealous. I live on the East Coast and. It's rainy and sad and dark.
Well, this is the Garden Island. It's pretty rainy here too. Well, you look great. Thank you.
Oh my God, dude, stop it. Okay, let's dive into it because I am so fascinated by your work and what you've done, and you've done so much over an amazing career, and I want to. We don't have enough time to talk about all of it, so we're gonna hit some high points and talk about it. But the first question I ask every guest that comes on: what is your military connection?
Well, the only actually two. My cousin Ricky. I don't even know if he's listening. I should have let him know. He was in the Navy. My father, Noble Grover West. I love my dad's name, so I like saying it. Was in World War II, and I actually have these letters from him somewhere in France, getting ready to go into Germany way back when. So, Dad, wherever you are, I hope you're hearing me. So, yeah, my dad served, and that's my connection.
Oh, that's beautiful. Noble Grover West.
Noble Grover West, yeah.
Wow, that is
and
fantastic.
His mother was Mae West, not the actress, but she was from Oklahoma, and my grandmother's name was Mae West, and so that's how I became Debi Mae West, because I think people often think I made up that name, but I definitely did not.
It's not a stage name, folks. Not a stage name.
That is and it's not name. Debi Mae. It's not hyphenated. It's Debi, but my middle name is Mae. And anyway, thanks for having me. It's really fun to be here.
No, of course. Are you kidding me? We're so excited to have you. And we have a live audience out there. If you guys are watching, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever, just know we are live right now. So if you're watching this right now, 9 p.m. Eastern on this Tuesday, March 7th, if you're watching it after the fact. But
4 p.m. Hawaii.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Hawaii. You can chat. Let us know. If you have questions for Debi Mae, please send them in the chats. We have our first question already. I haven't even gotten to my questions.
Good.
So from Marco on YouTube, he wants to know, do you have any scheduled con appearances coming up in California?
Oh, in California, not at the moment. I just, I never signed autographs, and this is a whole new thing for me to get out there and meet the fans, and it's been so much fun. I signed autographs here on Kauai in December, and then I went to Shumi in Los Angeles, and I literally just got back from Orlando. I was at Collecticon, and it was awesome. I actually named a baby. And I had people crying and weeping. It was so much fun. I was with the three Sanin for the first time ever from Naruto, if you're familiar with the series. But right now, I'm on my way to Seattle. Next week, I'm going to be doing Unlock the Con, and that's just going to be an appearance of me. We're having a VIP breakfast, and I don't know when I'm coming back to LA, but probably will be in San Diego at Comic Con this year. But I'll be back there. I'm from Los Angeles, so that's my hometown. And even though I live on Kauai now, so yes, I will be in LA. And if you follow me at Debi Mae West on Instagram, you will know everything and when. So hi, Marco. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, and if you're not following her, first of all, how dare you? How dare you?
How dare you if you're not following me?
If you're not
So
following,
fun to
because it's
follow.
entertaining. It's entertaining. And you recently started a TikTok too. I know there's a couple videos on there.
Well, yeah, I haven't done a lot of that. My nephew's actually helping me. He's so incredible. He's doing all my social media with me, and he's doing some cool stuff. So, yeah, I'm starting out doing a little TikTok, but Instagram has been where I've been sitting mostly.
Nice. Hey, have you? Because I know you're relatively new to the con circuit and the appearance circuit.
Yeah.
Are you getting a bit of the bug for it? Are you getting like? Are you? Is there still hesitation? Is it apprehension, or are you like getting into it?
I gotta tell you, so my Instagram used to be "Don't be a stranger, yo," and I just changed it when I got my first con appearance signed up. And I love people. I love meeting people. I am the friendliest person you'll ever meet. In fact, I got some really sweet notes from people that said, "Oh my God, you were so genuine and real." So I I think I do have a little bit of the bug right now because I'm ready, and I wasn't for a while. I'm a very shy extroverted person. If you can be those two things, I am both. So but I once I'm out there and I'm meeting people, I love it. So yeah, I have the bug and I'm excited, and I've got 3 appearances coming up, and hopefully I'm gonna get out there and do it
Awesome.
and meet as many people as I can.
I
Spread some love.
Yeah, I love it. I love going to conventions. We talk about it all the time. Like it's a whole nother world. There's such a good
It's a whole
vibe.
other world.
There's such a good energy. The people are genuinely sweet and excited to be there. Um, you know, uh, Another question in the audience: are you married?
I'm actually not married, but that lets me shout out to my boyfriend who's listening, Brent, and his boy Kieran, who's turning 12 tomorrow and gets to go surfing in New Zealand. So if you guys are listening, I'm shouting out. But no, I'm not married. I've never been married ever in my whole life, and I don't know if I ever will be.
Sorry,
Is that okay?
guys.
Am I still lovable?
Sorry, guys. She's off the market right now. Just keep your eye out. Just in case we got people ready to swoop in. So you gotta.
Is someone ready to get down on a knee? I've never understood that either. So if you want to propose to me, please don't get on a knee.
So it's okay for them to propose on you, just not on a knee. That's the thing.
Yes, just
Okay.
not on a knee.
Be creative, guys. You got to be creative. That's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna sneak attack her.
Or else you'll get one of these. That's my lady Tsunade.
So this is obviously it's a pop culture show. We talk about everything: movies, TV, video games, all the stuff, all things you've been a part of.
Yeah.
What is it that you geek out about? Like, what gets you excited, right?
Gosh, I'm a geek about surfing, to be honest. I started surfing very late in life, and I really I'm old, and and I started surfing at 51 years old, and I just started going all over the place. So I went to Bali, I went to Panama, I went to Mexico 5 times, I came to Kauai. Where else did I surf? Australia. So I'm a geek about surfing. It is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. I can't believe I waited so long to start doing it because I grew up near the beach in Los Angeles.
Sure.
But that's what I'm a geek about. And I'm a geek about spreading love too. I mean, I'm a total geek about joy. People call me a joy generator. My friend Joe Smith, we have a joke. I'm a joy generator. So I love, and I'm a geek about dancing. I threw a lot of dance parties. I love to dance. And so I'm a geek about love and happiness and enjoying life and
That's
surfing.
so good. I love it. I'm like, I
I
feel like
am not a geek about video games, weirdly.
I'm so beat red just from smiling so hard. This is great. You're
good.
amazing. I love it. Are there any? I always like to give a person. Obviously you have a platform, you have a following, so I always like to give an opportunity if there's any charities you support or any organizations you want to shout out or anything you want people to look at. I want to give you the floor to talk about that.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm actually the voice of a show, a podcast called Our Epic Ocean. And actually, this is a great segue because I just started reading an article and about Funko Pops that are being thrown away in masses. And so I haven't really looked that deeply into it, but I have to say, I am a proponent of stopping plastic pollution. So if you're interested in learning about Our Epic Ocean, you can tune into that podcast and you'll hear my voice at the beginning. And they have guests every single week. He has guests teaching us about how to save the ocean. And I live near the ocean, so I'm really nervous about it, about what's happening to the planet. So I threw a party for 10 years called Family Affair. It was the greatest party on earth. We took over the Standard Hotel downtown LA, Cinco de Mayo, and we had 10 DJs a day, and we raised money for different ocean organizations. So Surfrider Foundation. Oh my gosh, I'm not remembering my friends. I'm going to try to find it while we're here. But yeah, I'm a huge proponent of saving the ocean and saving the planet and all of us, because who knows what's going to happen. But what I really want to put out there is if there are any artists listening that can take the plastic Funko Pops and make art out of it, like someone could make a giant Funko Pop out of the baby Funko Pops instead of throwing them into the landfill. So I just want to put out a task, and maybe we can start something together here, CQ, tonight. Let's see who wants to be involved in this art project, and let's get in touch with Funko so that these little babies, look at my cute little new Funko Pop. This is my Tsunade Creation Rebirth AAA anime. And I don't want these plastic dolls going into the landfill. So what can we all do together? There's my 2 cents on that.
No, absolutely. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. It was an article where they talked Funko. I mean, we all love it. I have a few myself. We love supporting our favorite characters and all in these shows and whatnot. But Funko kind of overproduced, and something like $38 million worth of Funko Pops are being put into landfills. And that's not counting the people that bought them and then for whatever reason got rid of them or anything like that. So this is just excess Funko Pop pollution, we'll call it, a runoff.
That's funked up, isn't it?
Well, you're good at this.
That is funky.
I can see why you do radio and podcasts and things like that. You got this down. But yeah, so I absolutely huge support. Like behind you 100%. I love to scuba dive, so I'm all about the ocean and keeping it clean. And because when you've been down there, like you've been on the board, I've been inside the water. Like, it's a whole nother world. It's a whole nother plane of existence.
Beautiful world.
And they don't need us messing it up. Like we mess up enough as it is. We don't need to mess up their world. There was a question that came in. It says, do you have an Eric Arakawa board, best Hawaiian board maker?
No, I do not. I'm actually surfing on a board, Bob Pearson longboard right now, and Mark Angel here in Kauai made me a board, and I have like 5 surfboards. And I actually just broke my nose on New Year's Eve, and luckily it is healing because I didn't have a nose job. But I got freaking blammed right here, and I thought my nose was sticking out of the side of my face. I was gushing blood. It was awful. But no, are you going to send me one of those boards? Who's questioning that?
Mike in the chats.
Mike,
you owe her a board, apparently.
I want a board.
Yeah. So excellent.
Anyway, what else you got?
So yeah, no, absolutely. Now let's talk a little bit more about you. I'm curious. I'm always curious before we get into like the back catalog of your work. I want to know a little more about you as far as like who you were. Obviously, you said you come from LA. What were the early years? What were the young years? What was before you got into the business? Who was Debi Mae West?
Whoa. Debi Mae West was an 80s Valley girl. They basically, I was one of the girls that Frank Zappa and Moon Unit Zappa probably wrote the song about because I hung out at the Galleria. Oh my God. And I grew up in LA. I was a beach girl. I was a skateboarder, and I saw as many live shows as anyone could possibly see. So I still have every ticket to every concert that I ever went to since, well, I won't say the date, but Yes and Donovan was my first concert ever. I've seen every rock show. I was really into jazz. I was into progressive jazz when I was in high school and rock. And so I went to like every show. And my original dream was to be a rock star. I went to a jazz school, and actually, if any of you have ever watched The Voice, the Paul Merkovich, who's the piano player and does all the music on The Voice, he was my boyfriend when we were young. For like a year and a half, we dated, and we were both in this incredible music school. And I got to sing with a 40-piece big band and a 20-piece big band, and I sang at Disneyland and. Got to record with a huge jazz orchestra, so that was incredible. And so I was on the trajectory to become a rock star. That's what I wanted to do. And but I had a lot of problems. As you can hear, I have a really scratchy voice, and so every time I would sing live, I would kind of lose my voice and get hoarse on stage. And um, and so I just kind of went in a different direction, and I was waiting tables just like every other person. I never wanted to be an on camera actor, really, per se, but I was always around the business. And a good friend of mine at one point just was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing voiceovers?" And it was back when, like 35 years ago, when women weren't really in the field yet, but Demi Moore had just broken. And Terry Apple was. She was the voice of it was either Home Depot or I don't know. She was like one of the first women to really break it open, and Pamela Siegel and Pamela Adlon, and just very few women. So that I wanted to be a rock star, and it kind of led me into becoming a voiceover actor.
Yeah.
Weirdly,
So one way or the other, you ended up on the microphone. You know what I mean? You,
I
you
did.
found your way
That's
there.
true, and I was so I was in a world peace organization called SGI, and so I was auditioning to sing the solo at Madison Square Garden. And I remember writing down like because we had to make a declaration in order to part of our audition, and I declared that I was going to use my voice, and I was going to touch people all over the world with my voice and create world peace somehow, and love with my voice. And so I thought it was singing, and then somehow I went into voiceover. So, and I think a lot of people have heard my voice over the years. So
I would
I think
say
like
so.
35 years now.
I took a look at your IMDb page and all the work you've done, and definitely I know I have, and so many other people have definitely heard your voice in a lot of different places. And in fact, stepping into your career a bit, I went as far back as I could find, and I saw you got a little credit in The Hunchback of Notre Dame in 1996.
I did.
You have
I don't even remember.
there's a musical. It was a song that
Was
you
it
might
an
have.
animated?
Yes, it was the animated,
Uh-huh.
the Disney classic Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I think
Oh wow.
you're credited with some work on one of the songs. But your first real kind of work was TV Sailor Moon. You did 10
Well,
episodes of Sailor Moon.
actually, that was so. Before that, if I can go
Sure,
back, it was a really cool story. So I'd love to share it.
please,
So
please.
I was in a band called Steve's Main Squeeze. I used to wear a tutu and an electric tambourine. I played floor tom, and it was an accordion band. And my boyfriend at the time was a guitar player, and I was we sang all harmonies. And so Pamela Adlon was a friend of a friend, and she came to hear us. And I remember sitting with her having a drink, and I was like, "Hey, like, how do I get into voiceovers?" Because I knew she was really becoming a star at that point. Now she's a huge star. She was Bobby on King of the Hill, and now she has her own series that she wrote and created. And she's like one of the people I bow down to. And that night she said, it's really, really tough. And now I understand, because when people call me and ask me, how do I break in? I don't know what to say, because it's such a difficult field to break into now more than ever. But at the time, it was like a pretty small group of maybe 5,000 people around the country who were doing voiceover at that time. And so she sort of just said, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. And I had had a reoccurring dream my entire life that I was trying to get on Space Mountain, because I loved Disneyland and I was never getting on the ride. And so it took me about 7 months when I finally got an agent. I booked one little anti-smoking commercial. And then one day I was a waitress, and the next day I was not. And I never looked back. I became the voice of Safeway grocery stores. That was actually my first big job. And then I actually became the voice of Pamela Adlon. I matched her voice as Lucky in 101 Dalmatians because she had a baby and left the show. And as much as I did not think that I could do it, my agent at the time said, I know you can match this voice and I want you to do it. And I did. And so I booked the voice of Lucky in 101 Dalmatians. And I think they may have even put her voice back over mine on some of the episodes, because I was so bad and it was such a hard job. And I would go home crying because I was working with like April Winchell and Tara Strong and Frank Welker and like the top people in animation. And I was as green as you could be. And, but anyway, that was my first big gig. And so that was back in in 93 or 94, I think.
Okay. Yeah. And I saw the 101 Dalmatians. You're credited with 45 episodes. 45 episodes playing Lucky.
I played Lucky. It was amazing. And she was I remember this was the audition. You got any idea what it's like to have 98 brothers and sisters? And that was the line. And that was one of her lines. And I practiced it. And I just thought it was amazing. But then I had the dream and I got on Space Mountain. And but yeah, and I did a lot of animation the first years. But then I really broke into promos, and I don't know. My dad passed away in 1999, and I had a health scare, and I decided, fuck this. I'm gonna go to New York. And my agents were like, "What are you doing?" Because I was the voice of Mervyn's at that time, and I was just, I had so many commercials running. And back in the 90s, like the whole world of voiceover was so different. And the careers that we all had, and the friendships and the bonds, and just the opportunities that we have were extraordinary. And so I decided to go to New York and try it. And I couldn't make anything happen there. And then there was this huge strike, and I came back to LA. And then I booked a job in New York, and it was, do you remember the show Crossing Over with John Edward?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was the voice of his show for a few seasons until he got bought by CBS. So when he was on Sci-Fi Channel, I was the voice of Crossing Over with John Edward. And then I was the voice of Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations, for 9 seasons. I did some cool stuff that nobody knows about it. I don't even know if it's on my IMDb. I don't know who creates that stuff. Someone said to me once, "You have a Wikipedia page." And I'm like, "What's that?" I didn't even know what it was, because people create those for us. And and I don't really chime in on those. So that's kind of where it all started. Man, you got me all riled up. I'm just like, yay, let's
please. No, this is, I always like to think like this interview is the version of like, this is your life. You know what I mean? Like we go through the highs and the lows and talk all about it. I love it. I love when a person, you're obviously have such a great energy about your experience, and you such a passion for it, obviously, and are happy with how your career turned out overall. So it's always great to have these conversations. Question from the chat from Heath. He wants to know, this is a very classic question we get all the time. What was your first big paycheck purchase? Like that first big paycheck where you were like, oh God, like this is a career. What was your the thing you spoiled yourself on?
You know what I did? One of my first agents, Peter Verano, he came in the booth with me one day and he said, "May I give you some unsolicited advice?" And I was like, yes. And the only other unsolicited advice I ever got was from my brother. And he said, "Always wear a seatbelt." And it just stuck with me. So I always freaking wear a seatbelt. But anyway, he said, "Look, you're blowing up. You're going to have a huge career. Don't do what all these actors do. Don't go buy a Porsche. Don't buy a house. He's like, get out of fucking debt. And so my first big purchase was writing a check for $18,000 to a credit card company and getting out of debt. And I've never been in credit card debt ever again. I don't recommend it. And it was the greatest thing I ever did. So, and then I saved my money and, and I did purchase a house, but years into my career. And so I am kind of like, I am a money saver and I'm not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely want to pass that information along to any young actors or when you get that big payday, it doesn't mean the next one's coming, especially in voiceover. I mean, we don't have contracts. We have no idea. I wake up every single day still not knowing what's coming. I mean, I do have a couple of ongoing gigs. I'm the voice of Buzzer Game Show Network, and I'm the voice of Start TV, and I'm the voice of CTV. And I do a lot of stuff for NBC Sports. And so, but none of it is like, hey, this is happening forever. And so the part of being a voiceover actor is really not knowing what's coming next. So I try to save my money to make sure that I have a good future and can live on Kauai.
Yeah, I like that.
It's friggin' expensive.
Somebody's pointing out, I guess
Your
you
question, Heath.
Somebody pointed out in the chat's Kaz in the chat says you got a lot of moose heads. Is there an obsession maybe?
That's funny. You know what it is? So if you're into Disney at all, Country Bear Jamboree was one of my favorite things, events. It's not a ride, so it's a show. And so, in fact, I was just at the Magic Kingdom in Orlando last Monday, and I went into the Country Bear Jamboree because I think they closed it in LA. I haven't been there in a long time, but they do have it in Orlando. And so the first one was the moose, and it reminded me of, I think it's Melvin. And then my dog is, maybe I should get Hefe. Hefe looks like a baby deer. And so those are all just, heads that I acquired, and it's my little homage to Country Bear Jamboree.
I love it.
And I can sing every song.
When one of these days we'll bring you on, we'll challenge you. So
that'd be funny.
You've done excuse me, you've done so much, right? We're still just barely scratching the surface, and a lot of the work that you're credited with, obviously outside of the promo stuff and the commercial stuff, is a lot of video game work. I mean, you have an exhaustive list of video games you've worked on, whether they be background characters or supplemental characters or whatnot. But obviously, I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't say one of the first voices you did, 1998, Metal Gear Solid, Meryl Silverburgh. I mean, like that's a home run out the gate. Basically your first video game work, and it's a character that still today, God, 25 years later, is still highly regarded.
Nutballs.
And also just in a time, I remember that game. I remember playing that game as a kid. It was a time when you were like video game characters didn't talk. They didn't have monologues and dialogue. They made bleeps and blorps and and things like that. So I mean, it was groundbreaking in so many ways. Do you remember getting that role and then realizing just how much depth there was to that character in that world?
Well, I do remember getting cast in the role. Chris Zimmerman, who is like one of the greatest directors of all time, and she originally cast all of us, and I think we did it. It wasn't PlayStation. I don't even remember the original, but it was. We re-recorded it for PlayStation, and I got to work with the amazing David Hayter, who played Solid Snake, and he's just a genius. And in most video games, you don't work together, and so they had David and I work together, and so it just gave us that depth. And I never really had played video games, so I wasn't aware that this was groundbreaking, and that this was going to be something so iconic. I never dreamed that I'd be talking about it 20 some years later. I never dreamed that I could be in an airport and actually meet some kids in the military that were going off to Iraq at the time in an airport in Miami, and just getting, talking with them, because that's what I do. Don't be a stranger, yo. And I love to hug strangers. And then they asked me what I do, and I told them I was Meryl, and they were freaking out. And, people freak out. I had, at my first signing at Shumi, actually the second one, it was, a Lady Tsunade Naruto signing, but some Metal Gear fans showed up, and this amazing kid showed up with Meryl tattooed on his arm. And I asked him, la li li lo lo. No, I asked him why he had my character specifically, and he said, Meryl saved my life, and he said my sister died of breast cancer, and I was really on the edge of suicide, and that game got me through. And I literally burst into tears. He burst into tears, and we were hugging, and I've had those situations happen several times with not only Meryl, but also now Lady Tsunade. But so just to be this iconic character is really something else, because I revere voice actors who are awesome. Oh, there's Hefe. Come here. You guys want to meet Hefe? There are some really awesome animation voiceover actors, and I don't see myself as one of them. This is Hefe, my baby dear. And he loves me very much. And so that I was chosen out of the hundreds and hundreds of women who could have played Meryl is just astounding. But I really do think that it was because I set that intention before I sang at Madison Square Garden, that I was going to touch people all over the world with my voice, and I have. And so that is not bragging. That's just me being so grateful. And it could have been anyone. There are a lot of great voiceover chicks out there. And so thank you to the, whatever it is, whatever angels have been with me. Yeah. Did I answer the question?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I love it. No, I could sit here and listen to you talk about it all day. And so my other thought when looking at a character like Meryl is that at the time you voice her, technology it's making leaps and bounds, right? We, like I said, this was really the first time where games were really like starting to pump in like storylines that are actually acted out. To say that the character design was very polyagnical, like it was just a lot of like blurry, weird. We've now in 20 years, and especially since Metal Gear has been such a big franchise and has released part 2 and part 3 and part 4 and part 5, we've gotten to see that character better designed. Is it weird? Like, what are your thoughts about seeing the physical design of your voice kind of change throughout the years?
I haven't seen any of the newest versions. So if anyone wants to send me some pics, that would be great. So, I mean, actually
kind of looks like
toy,
that. Yeah.
I've had this toy for a long time. I know there was an older version, and I have some pictures of the original. It's so funny. I lost the gun, and at Collecticon last weekend, a guy had this doll, and I said, "Oh my God, I lost the gun," and he gave me the gun, and so I have to go find it because she's got like a really hot rifle. But anyway, I haven't really seen that they've changed her. So have they updated Meryl? Is she looking different?
No, it's more or less like that. But just the idea that, like, in 1998 when it came out on, I think it was the PlayStation 2. I mean,
right.
She had like a
Well,
square
Xbox.
head.
That was the original Xbox. I just remembered. Yeah.
Okay.
So
well,
she had a square head.
Yeah, she had like a triangle hair and a square head. So it's such a crazy thing to see, like I think like Pokemon, where the original Game Boy games, they were these little blurbs and blobs, to now they're these fully fleshed out 3D animated, things. So I think what a cool you really got to see, I guess, the change in technology just based off your own character, right? How
Yes.
technology has progressed, but that's okay. Another big one. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, please.
No, go ahead. No. I was just gonna say I'm not a technology nerd at all. Yeah. So
I tell you what, I'm gonna put together like a slide deck of how Meryl has looked throughout the different video games.
A codec?
Yes, a codec, if you will. So you can see just how much that character has changed over the years. It's mind-boggling.
I love
Admin, take a note. We're gonna do that. Another huge franchise that you're a part of, before we even get into Naruto, is World of Warcraft. I know a lot of people who recognize your voice as Maeve, Shadow Song in World of Warcraft, and again, is it one of those things? I know you're not a gamer by any stretch of the imagination, but were you aware of kind of like where it stood in
what
pop
was
culture?
coming with World of Warcraft?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still it's Maya Shadow Song, and I actually still am currently playing her voice, and I'm actually about to do a session in a couple of weeks. So it's funny because she started out with an Irish accent, I remember. And I heard like an older version of it, and now she's like this. Whoa! I mean, she's nuts. She's a very intense voice, and again, iconic. The only other con that I ever went to prior to my first one last weekend at Collecticon, or the weekend before, was BlizzCon as my Shadow Song, and it was the girls of Warcraft, like it was the hot chicks in World of Warcraft. We were all interviewed, and that was such a trip for me because Maiev Shadow Song, she's not hot. I mean, she's like a crazy wild beast who locks up Illidan. And so the fans, when they were coming down the line, they were like into the blonde chick with the big boobs and the blonde hair. And like people were just kind of like, oh, I like your character. But I sat there sort of lonely, like, oh my God. But she's intense and she's iconic and she's a big part of that game. And I'm super, super proud that I was, again, chosen by Blizzard to be Maya of Shadow Song, and I'm still her. Like she's still alive. I would love it if Metal Gear would bring me back. I think Meryl definitely. I want to be in like the live action version. You know, like I want to be like in the shadows somewhere. I don't know.
We can make it happen, man. We could do some, what was it, like fan fiction, the fan made film, and bring you into the live action. A question from the audience: Does Debbie ever get recognized when she's out and about?
I've only been recognized by my voice and not my face. I was buying tickets to a concert. I used to be on a show on KCRW, which is a worldwide radio station that I've been one of the main voices of for over 20 years. But I was on a show called The Other Side with Joe Frank, and you're probably too young, but maybe there are listeners out there. Joe Frank was a radio god who told stories and would put music behind, and he would sort of interweave dramatic pieces that he wrote, and then he would have phone conversations, or he would have a Buddhist monk espouse wisdom, and it was really all over the place. And I was one of the characters on that show, but it was me. It was Debi Mae West talking on the phone with my friend Joe Frank, and I told sex stories, and it was a trip. I told stories about all my boyfriends, and one day I was buying tickets, and this guy was like, "Are you Debi Mae West?" I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh my God, I listen to you on Joe Frank. I'm such a big fan." And that is the only time in my whole life that anyone's ever recognized me. So yeah, I don't think I ever recognize. I mean, my voice is recognizable, but not my face.
Sure.
Which is great.
This is a question from the audience that I'm pretending. Where can we find the sex stories from Debbie?
Oh, Joe Frank, The Other Side. They're out there.
Other Side, website. Joe Frank. Not for me. Yep. Not for me. Just for the listeners. That I know these guys are.
They're pretty funny. My
curious.
friend Josh had known me for years, and he discovered them and listened to all of them, and he was like, "How come you've never told any of your friends that you were on Joe Frank?" And I was like, I'm the voice of American Airlines. I don't fucking tell people. Hey, knock it up. Hefe, come here. He does not like the mailman.
I bet. None of us do. So a question from Joe in the chats said, you've done a lot of smaller console game voices, and then you've done these like massive franchises like Metal Gear Solid and World of Warcraft. Is there a difference? Could you break it down if there's a difference in how you approach those roles or how they record or anything like that?
Uh, my approach to a role is like this. I get hired. Well, first I audition. I get hired. You walk in, and if you haven't signed an NDA, basically swearing you to secrecy, you walk in and see a script for the first time. So I usually know nothing about the game. I know nothing about what's going on. I do not get to really develop a character unless it's something like a Metal Gear because I got to play her over and over and over. And so, I just really try to approach it in the moment. And usually, if there's a great director and I've worked with the best, they'll get me where they need to get me. And it's really just make believe. You're just kind of playing. You're like in the game, and being in a voiceover booth is a great experience because you can just like create a world. And hopefully, if you have a great imagination, you can just get yourself where you need to get. But it's not that deep, really. It's deep in that moment, and it can become a deep experience. But as a voice actor, I just have to reach in and find memories or find experiences or how I can relate to the character. But usually in a game, you don't really know where it's going or what your role is or if you're going to die. I mean, players, your character might be involved briefly and you're gone, or you might ride off into the sunset with the bison with Solid Snake if you win and Meryl lives.
Oh god, that's so good. So I mean, we'd be remiss we didn't talk about you Naruto, and obviously how big of a hit that is, and you've done 241 episodes as Tsunade, and like I'm always fascinated by this because I can imagine if you get hired, hey, we're creating this show and it's a cartoon about whatever bears and cars and whatnot, and you're the voice,
Yeah.
and whatever it is, it's an original thing we're doing. It's a whole nother beast to say, hey, here's this cartoon that's already been done, and we need you to now dub over this voice while still retaining the essence of the character and the all the eccentricities and whatever of what that character has. Is that more challenging to then dub over something that exists?
Well, and by the way, you left out, and her boobs will get bigger and bigger as the years go by.
Yes.
I don't even know if that's the biggest one. I saw a meme the other day, her boobs were like as big as a room. It's unbelievable. So, okay, Lady Tsunade, Naruto, first of all, I didn't know what Naruto was. I'm going to kill my dog real quick. Hey, hold on one second.
Sure. Bye.
Come here.
By all means.
You got to stop. The
I'll
mailman is here, but you can still hear me. He does not like the mailman at all. So anyway, one of
Good
my
dog.
first scenes, one of the first scenes that I had to do portraying her was bawling my head off, basically. And Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, also incredible director. She played Lady Tsunade, I think maybe in the first game. So I'm not sure why probably because she was going to direct hundreds and hundreds of shows. Oh my God, my dog is just going to go kill this mailman. Anyway, she had to get me to a deep place. And I also had a lot of loss in my life. I lost 3 brothers, and so it wasn't that hard to get me to crying, losing my lover and my brother in the show. So again, I had no idea how many episodes it was going to be. I had no idea that I think it's been 18 years since I've been playing Lady Tsunade, that I would now, have a doll. I actually have 3 Funko Pops. That I would get to name babies, that women would cry when they met me. I mean, I had no idea. And so, and again, you never really are thinking about that when you get cast. And especially, it's an anime dubbing job, which is a terrible job. It pays nothing. People think that, we're like making all this money. And the dubbing contract that SAG wrote for dubbing animation was like the worst paying job in the voiceover field, besides maybe books on tape. And so it was just fun. I mean, Jamie Simone cast me. I loved him. I always wanted to work at Studiopolis. I was just like, oh, cool. I'm going to do a Japanese anime series. I had no idea what was coming. I didn't really know the storyline at all of Naruto. And now I do know quite a bit. And it's pretty amazing what I know, because she's even more iconic than I think people who watch the show know, because the real story of the three Sanin is from the 1800s. It's an old Japanese folklore, a book that was written about Jiraiya and Tsunade and Orochimaru. And so Naruto is based on that. And I didn't even know that until a month ago. You know, I had to match flaps as best as I could, because you have to watch the mouth, and you have to turn Japanese into English. And so the people that are behind the scenes doing that are incredible, because Japanese and English are nowhere near each other in language. And so to create the story and make, you know, my mouth, my voice, and then act at the same time, it was definitely challenging, but I love shit like that, and it was super fun. I love playing Lady Tsunade because she's just me. Like, people go, "Oh, do her voice." I'm like, "Well, I am," because it's just me. And she loves drinking and gambling, and she's a badass. And I love her. And I'm so happy that I'm Lady Tsunade.
Yeah, and again, we touched on it a little bit earlier too, where it's a job where tomorrow they could be like, yeah, we're gonna go with a different, you know what I mean? The animation's gonna be the same, but yeah, we just need a different voice. And so the fact that you've been voicing her across mediums, from the cartoons to the movies to the video games, doing it for 20 years, just about, like, what an incredible how few people, the Simpsons characters, like, how many people get to voice a character for 20 years? That's
amazing.
That's
those
amazing.
guys, now those guys are like the gods of animation. Totally.
Right.
The gods.
And speaking of Lord Jiraiya, we had David Lodge on a couple weeks ago.
Oh my goodness.
What a character. What
that
a character.
guy. Oh my gosh. We got to be together. So David and I have known each other for a long time. We were at the same agency. So I've been doing voiceovers for 35 years. So I've had to have known him for 30 years. And I never got to see him when we were doing, maybe we like crossed paths coming in and out, because you never worked together doing the anime ever. And so we tried to figure out last weekend, you know, when was the last time we saw each other? And it had been a long time, but that guy is great. He's actually been my mentor, getting me on the circuit here and helping me out. And, you know, because it's a lot going on the road to sign autographs. So I love that guy, Lord Jiraiya. He's so funny. He made these bumper stickers that said, "I love Jiraiya." And so I have one on my ass at the con, and so people were in line to see him, and I'd be like, "I love Lady Tsunade loves Jiraiya," and it was quite silly and fun.
You gotta have fun, wherever you can find it, have some fun.
I know. I was thinking of a bumper sticker for Tsunade. I have giant boobs.
They only get bigger with time. That's
Oh my God, she's like a fine wine. They get bigger with time.
Again, with the way characters change. We're talking about it with Meryl, but you know, you can almost see, like, well, where the time's at, and you can measure it.
Here's a really cool. This is a Lady Tsunade that someone did for me. Look, she's an angel, but look, she's got some cleavage there.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this is by a person named Morlack, who did this for me and sent it to me on Instagram, and I'm so grateful. But yeah, what else? What else? We have to have a few more minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to hold you too long.
This is my cat doll from Max Steel. I don't know if anyone saw Max Steel back in the day. I think they redid that. But yeah, well, yeah. I was the voice of the Winter Olympics this year. That was amazing. That was like one of my biggest dream come true jobs ever. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not doing a lot of video games right now. Like I said, I'm still doing World of Warcraft, but I'm just here in my little home studio in Kauai, and I wake up every morning and do my auditions, and then try to go for a surf. And now I'm going to go on the road and meet some people, and it's a good time, and also it's a trippy time. I'm just amazed. And again, back to that plastic thing, I'd really love to create a game for your listeners and watchers. If we can figure out who could make a giant art piece or melt it and turn it into something, I don't know. Funko Pop dolls must become something other than trash, right?
I
What are we
agree.
gonna do,
I
CQ?
agree.
Did anybody respond at all? Did we get
Oh,
the artist?
there was a couple of things and comments about they don't want to find. There's an old story about when oh god, what company was it? Atari had made ET the video game. This is going back 35, 40 years. And it was one of the worst games ever made. And they had made so many copies because of the popularity of ET, but nobody bought them. And so there was this big conspiracy that they had dug a giant hole and hundreds of millions of
Oh
copies
my
of the
gosh.
ET video game had been buried. So somebody was bringing that up in the chats earlier. It's the ET fiasco all over again. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like that, we need to figure out something to do because obviously I'm a huge collector of those kind of things. But we can't be filling landfills with this stuff. It's just not right. Let me ask you, now that you've had a couple of convention experiences. Because again, I frequent conventions myself, and I've seen things and I've heard things. Any crazy fan interactions? Any crazy convention stories yet that you can share?
I mean, it was kind of crazy that I wish I could remember her name. I'm gonna look it up. But so there's a Funko and Sons is a store, and I think they are in New York, perhaps, but I could be wrong. And the other day, I went over and met them, and I don't even know how I met them, but they were excited, and they actually gave me. I was waiting for my Funkos to arrive because my friend was driving my Funkos from Miami to Orlando for me to sign them, and so they gave me one of these so I could have it, and and then I ended up just making friends with them. And Lord Jariah made friends with them, and we were over there doing videos and at their little stand. And then the wife asked me to name her kid, and she was like, "I want Lady Tsunade to name my baby." And the baby's in utero, and she has this little boy named Kai that just became my best friend, and we went everywhere together, all over the con. And I don't remember the name. It was Levi something or something Levi, and I was like, "Oh, Levi, no doubt." And so she's like, "That's it. We're naming it Levi." And she sent me a picture of the sonogram the next day. So I got a picture of her baby in utero, and I got to name a baby. So that was kind of the craziest so far. Oh no, one more crazy.
Please.
When I did a signing at Shumi, a guy came all the way from Mexico to Alhambra, and I don't know if any of you know how far that is, but it's crossing the border to get out of Mexico, Tijuana, through San Diego, through all of Southern Cal, like Orange County to Alhambra to meet me. And he was late and missed me, and I already gone. So the guy that owns Shumi, Nia, called me, and he was like, "This guy, what should I do?" And I said, "FaceTime." So I did a FaceTime with this guy, and his girlfriend was in the car, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you drove from Mexico to meet me." So that whole thing is crazy. Fandom is crazy. Fandom is wild. I'm amazed that people want to come and meet me. And so if I can, give them a fun time, and I'm trying. I definitely don't want to like catch people's stuff, but I am a hugger. So if you come see me, I will probably hug you. And yeah, I'm crazy, so it's all gonna be crazy.
Last question I have for you, and then we'll let you go. What's maybe something that some work that you did that you're super super proud of, but it's not as popular as the Naruto's or the World of Warcraft or the Metal Gear Solid, but just maybe a show you did, a voice thing you did, just something that you want more people to see.
I mean, I have to say that
35 years, yeah, doing this.
but being the voice of the Olympics. So I launched the Olympics network, and so they had a 24-hour channel of all old Olympic stuff, and I launched that network, and I was the voice of that network, and then the game several years ago. They ended up using a man, but my voice was in the mix, and because the music, ba ba da ba da. I just always had this dream that I was going to read to that music, and so this winter I was the voice of. I got to read every morning for 2 weeks to that music. And it was a dream come true, and I was so proud. And I just got a really nice note that I'm still involved. I still do promos for NBC, Peacock, for USA, because they do all the sports stuff. And so I would say that's probably one of the things I'm the most proud of, and also that I was the voice of Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations, for 9 years, and I rest that guy's soul. I'm so sad that he left in the way that he did, but just I've done so much stuff that no one knows about. If you're flying the friendly skies of American Airlines, you will hear my voice, because I tell you to put your damn tray table up and make sure your stuff is stowed under the seat in front of you.
Just like that too. Put your dang stuff up.
Put your dang stuff up. But there's stuff like that that will never appear in my IMDb. And I've done a lot of cool shit, I gotta say. And I'm so happy that you asked me to be here so that I could, brag about it a little bit. But
Absolutely.
I'm beyond the moon grateful for my career. I'm beyond the moon grateful for my life, and that I get to share this. And if I can be an inspiration to anyone, I hope that I can be. And because the world is different, and becoming a voiceover actor is not what it used to be. And so I feel so damn grateful that I got the lottery ticket and got to be this gal, this girl, and also Ty the Tasmanian Tiger and Naruto. And I mean, I just am lucky. I mean, I'm lucky. So I'm grateful to Pamela Adlon for telling me I could never do voiceovers and challenging me.
That's a little motivation, a little kick in the pants that you need.
That's all you need is a little kick in the pants.
One last comment from the chat. They just wanted to go, dang girl, what's your routine? Because you are ripped. It's surfing, right? It's all the surfing.
Yes, it's the paddling. And I used to be more ripped. I'm really trying to get back, man. COVID did to me what it did to everybody. And I gained 10 pounds. But Sergio was my trainer for years. Sergio Peñalosa. I know he's not listening, but I'm going to shout out to him, and maybe he'll watch this. So he kind of got me ripped, and surfing is it, man. You're paddling hard, and it's my favorite thing on earth.
Yeah,
you're awesome, CQ. Thank you so much
for
having me.
So much fun. Go ahead, your Twitter handles, your Instagram handles. Where can people follow you and show support?
Oh, please follow me. So it's DebiMae West, because it's not spelled like Debbie. So at Debi Mae West, DebiMae West on Instagram. I'd love to get a bunch more followers, so I know that people are listening tonight. Facebook is private. My Twitter is at Miss Mae West, MISSMAE WEST. And what's my TikTok?
The TikTok.
Debi Mae West? I don't even know.
I just found it today. But thank you.
Yeah,
everybody, Debbie, I mean, come on. She is phenomenal. Go follow her. Go show her some love. I mean, you already love her from all the other things that she does, but I'm sure there's a lot more coming. I'll give you the last.
Let's figure out this plastic thing together.
The plastic thing. We gotta do that.
I dare you guys, get in touch with me. Let's save the Funko dolls.
Let's save them, or just send them all to me. I got space. I'll store a bunch of Funkos.
$39 million.
$39 million worth. All right, Debbie, I'll give you the last 5 seconds to say goodbye to the audience, and then we'll toss it to a break.
Hey, I just want to say aloha, and in the spirit of Hawaii, from Miss Howley here on the island of Hawaii, spread love, guys. Make the world bright and shine your star.
Outstanding.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we'll be back with more right after this. Stay tuned. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
You there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, alright? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, what do you think because the show's going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And if I told you everything, I bet you cry and run away. 'Cause with all the lies I keep, made you believe this was me. The truth is I am not at all who I preach myself to be. And I deserve to be alone. And I'm alone here with me. And after all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And if I told you everything, I wonder if you would believe that with all the ways you've tried, I couldn't change my selfish needs. And with endless love from you, and I took for granted everything. And I deserve to be alone here with me. After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And I believe I could close my eyes and make it go away in dreams. And honestly, I could die to take it all away from me. After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? And after all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've done, do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now?
Broadcasting live from the basement of a Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. What's going on? How awesome was Debi Mae West? I just every time I think, man, my job can't get any better. Getting to talk to these people and gush over their careers and just man, her energy, her enthusiasm. She is really a joy generator. Um, Heath says she was smoking hot. I mean, I don't like to objectify women like that, but she's gorgeous, gorgeous. We would all be lucky to be in as amazing shape as her in her young age. In her young age. That's really all I got for you. That's really all I got for you tonight. Obviously, I didn't want to bring Angry Elf. he's probably still dicking around with his Wi-Fi router. God forbid I ask him to come back on. But I can say, what do we got for you next week? Obviously, more of what you love, all the latest and greatest and what's happening in sports. Sports? What's happening in pop culture? Jesus. Where did that come from? But we have another phenomenal guest joining us next week. We have the incredible Sean Kanan. I'm gonna, between this week and next week, I'll make sure I learn how to say his last name. Kanan. Kanan. Incredible actor, starting all the way back. I think his first or second role was literally the Karate Kid Part 3. It been just in a ton of things. Most notably, he played. He was in General Hospital for 140 episodes. Youthful Days for 78 episodes. He did 14 episodes in Studio City. He's done 845 episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful, playing Deacon Sharp. And most recently, he was on Cobra Kai, reprising his character from Karate Kid 3. He played Mike Barnes. And yeah, so we'll have him on next week. And that's going to be... Heath, you're funny. Yes, and Scott says, I think it's similar to Canon. I'm going to just say Canon. That's what I'm gonna go with. But I'll learn between now and next week. It'll be Canon. But once again, amazing things coming up and in store for the show. We have some surprise guests coming. We have some surprise appearances, some places we're going to be that we haven't announced yet, and some things we're going to be doing that we haven't announced yet. Very excited to be talking about that as things solidify. Some amazing guests. If you've tuned in, if you stayed up to date on the Facebook pages and on the social media, I've been posting pictures here and there, very subtly, about there's little Easter eggs, little things that are coming in some of the pictures and possible guests and possible things. So it's just like, I like sprinkling it out there, keep people guessing. Heath says, I bet you could get Sean Austin. I've met Sean Austin. Very nice guy. Very, very nice guy. I won't say that I haven't already reached out to him and that did not get a response, but man, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for those tuning in, here's a snapshot of what we got going on here at WTF Nation Radio weekly. Starting your week Sunday nights with the Sports Bar. Talking about, you guessed it, sports. Monday comes the Monday edition. That's where you'll get all your news, commentary, and discussion about everything that's going on in the world. All that stuff that you watch the news for, I don't. It makes me sad and depressed. But I do love listening to the Monday edition and listening to them break it down. Ice and co-host are lots of fun. Tuesdays, obviously, here with me, CQ, and my myriad of rotating co-hosts here on Tuesday nights in Pop Culture Warrior. Wednesdays brings you Radar and TZ at the Smoke Pit. They are, to this station, what the E4 Mafia is to the military. If you get it, you get it. Thursday nights, once again, Ice and co-host on Sergeant's Time, talking about all that big Army, big Sergeant news, what's going on there. all that good stuff. All that good stuff. I hung up my uniform a long time ago. And then we close out the week Friday nights with Friday Night Freedom, where, I mean, I don't even know how you describe Friday Night Freedom other than just a wild ride of all the fun stuff. Of all the fun stuff. They I think of all the shows, they have the most fun and are just have a myriad of guests and people that they talk to. Hey, David. Better late than never. How you doing, buddy? Let's say I think that's it. I mean, I think we covered a lot. I think we touched on the most of it. I'm gonna double check my notes here, make sure I didn't miss any of the big scoops. The big scoops. I think we hit the major parts of it. But what say you? Anybody got feedback? There's a couple of you still watching. Anybody? I mean, open floor. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the show, of the guests, of the segments, of the topics, of the graphics, of me. I don't care. Open floor. This is our first show in 4K. Obviously, I've switched the background lights to white, just trying something different. But I'm open. I'm open to feedback. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Open feedback. Shoot. You can roast me. I don't care. You can just tell me how horrible I am. I'm with it. Mike says, lights. I pay to watch this? I don't get it. Where do you pay to watch this? Peter says, I just want to know how did you get a Karate Kid actor on the show? Asked nicely. That's it. He says, honestly, I'm ready for a new permanent co-host. So okay, on that note, do you not, Heath, speaking to you, do you not enjoy the rotating co-host situation? You want the same person on week in and week out? And Heath, being a guy who's damn near seen every episode of this show, of our temporary co-host, who's been your favorite? Who's no judgments. No judgments. Just who's been if you had to pick one, if we had to settle on a permanent, right? We've had who'd we had? We had Massey, Mad Mike, and Angry Elf so far. Anybody speak clear? No, there is a Heath Barlow and a Keith Miller. Sorry if I'm slurring my Heath and my Keith. Wow, that is very, very. There you go, Barlow and Miller. There we go. I'm taking out Heath and Keith. So Barlow, if you have a favorite, who's and Peter, right? We have had King, but King's doing his own show now. He's got the sports bar. When he came on to co-host, that was before he had the sports bar. So, I mean, we all miss Radar. There is no replacing Radar, right? Heath Barlow says, I'm not crazy about it. Mike is fun. He busts balls a little. All right, so we got a vote for Mad Mike. Mad Mike is a favorite from Heath Miller. Or sorry, Heath Barlow. God damn it! Now I'm mixing up the two. Can we get a Radar rant? You want David Williams wants Pauly Shore on as a guest. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm gonna take a note. Pauly Shore. Okay, so when I was just recently, when I went to the Super Bowl experience in Media Row, I talked to Carrot Top, of all people. If you had asked me to name 1,000 people, 10,000 people that I might meet during Super Bowl Media Week, I don't think Carrot Top would have been on that list. And he was such a nice guy. And we did exchange information and was interested. He was interested to know why I was there. He's like, so what are you doing here? And I was like, at this point, I don't even know. I don't even know why I'm here. But But yeah, he was cool. And so who knows? Maybe we'll get maybe we get Carrot Top or Pauly Shore. Keith Miller says, I bet Paulie's doable. He's a down-to-earth guy. So there you go. David, I'm going to try to get Pauly Shore. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Tune in and find out. All right, man. You guys, this is your chance to... I know there's somebody... I know there's people watching. There's... By my count, there's about 25 people watching across social media. And none of y'all got any feedback. Everybody's a critic until you put them on the spot. Everybody's a comedian, wants to troll until you put them on the spot. You know, Heath, yes, Ernie Hudson. No lie, I sent out an email 2 days ago to Ernie Hudson. Not a lot of people know Ernie Hudson, also a veteran. Served, shit. Oh, I don't want to say it, but now, because I want to say he was in the Navy. Ernie Hudson, military. Marine Corps. Ernie Hudson was in the Marine Corps, straight out of high school, dismissed after only 3 months due to asthma. So, I mean, kind of a veteran? Sort of? Does that count? I don't know. Oh, Mike says he met him and he was totally an asshole. I mean, maybe you caught him. Maybe you caught him on a bad day. But I mean, most Marines I know are assholes. So, you know, it is what it is. Heath, great show every damn time. Aw, Heath, come on. God bless you, man. I appreciate you. I have a clue as to who might be coming on soon, and I'm not gonna name names, but I'm just gonna put this. Just put that out there. Hold on, let's see. Hold on, I can do this. There you go. That's it. That's all you're gonna get. That's it. I just like teases. You've live watched every show. Listen, honestly, Heath, God bless you. I love you. I do. I'm worried about you. If you've watched every single one of my shows, I'm concerned. I have to be here. I don't know. What does that say about you? I'm just kidding. I love you, man. I love you. Jesse says, yep, I am. Yeah. Every Marine I've ever met. Don't get me wrong. Love them. Every Marine I've met is a huge asshole. It is what it is. This Is Us was... All right, yeah. This Is Us. Yeah, that's right. We shared the time slot with This Is Us. I know it's hard. It's hard. It's either Pop Culture Warrior at CQ. This Is Us. I don't envy your guys' decision. It's so hard. All right. Well, shit. You know what? I always like, man, I want to make the show better. I want to, I don't know. I want to make this the best show it can be for you guys. But apparently I'm doing a great job and I don't need to change anything. So again, I'm gonna pat myself on the back, I guess. Good job, Mike. Man. Last note. So I always like to incentivize, but here we go. This Is Us on YouTube. When that gets to 1.1, another big giveaway, like a whole episode of giveaway. So that's 80 people, something like that. 80 subscribers on YouTube. So spread the word, YouTube. We're gonna start. If you follow the social medias, I'm gonna start making a lot more clips and posting a lot more stuff on YouTube and shorts. And I'm trying to wait. Next couple of videos that are coming out on YouTube for the Pop Culture Warrior channel. I'm trying this new AI technology that is supposed to be like revolutionary, and it's gonna do all the bells and whistles and all that. We'll see. I just, me. I'm always playing with the tech, always trying new things. We'll see. Can we do something about the host's face? Oh, Mike Larson, great question. Have you ever met Stan Lee? So, have I ever told you all about the story about the time I met Stan Lee? Well, I've met him a few times, actually, back before he passed away. Obviously. Great guy. Wonderful guy. I do got to share the one story. Just because, God, I love him so much. I love him so much. Not just for what he created, but for who he was and how he was. There was a convention, obviously years ago, years ago, probably 10 years at this point. And in fact, it was the first convention I ever went to that wasn't a New York Comic Con. Because I'm born and raised in New York City and used to go to New York Comic Con once in a while, and not a big deal. But post-military, post-injury, one of the first times I ever went to a convention. I think this was in Philadelphia. I want to say it was. I'd have to double check. But I went, and the only thing that really mattered to me was getting an autograph from Stan Lee. Like, I didn't really care about anybody else that was there. I just, like, that was like, oh my God, my boyhood dream is getting to meet Stan Lee and getting an autograph. And when I went, it was me and another veteran. And the veteran had a service dog. And he also had a kid in a stroller. So I was helping, with the kid in the stroller, and he had the service dog. And so we get to where Stan Lee is, his booth. And because of the way the thing was set up, what is traditionally like a straight line or like a line with a curve, they had this like serpentine style walk line thing to get to him. And it like literally went back and forth. It had to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 times. And it was so tight. Like people were like, and the lines were tight, and there was no way we were going to be able to navigate that with a service dog and with a stroller and all this stuff. And so, and we had these, these tickets that you had like guaranteed autograph and guaranteed whatever. And so I was like, you know what? Like, this isn't going to work. So I went up to like somebody that was working like security or the line monitor or whatever. And I told him, I said, listen, we have these tickets. It says, we're guaranteed an autograph, whatever. It's part of the purchase of the VIP experience, whatever it was. And I said, look, we're not trying to jump the line or anything like that. The last person in line has whatever it was, like a pink shirt. See that pink shirt? Can we stand here to the side, away from the line, wait our turn, and as that pink shirt works its way all the way through the front line, when they're at the front, we're behind them. We just get in there, we do our autograph thing, and we're done. And the guy was like, oh, hold on a second. I was, yeah, let me hold on a second. And he goes, and I see him talking to the staff in the front, and we're thinking, all right, cool. We just stand here and wait, whatever. And the guy goes, hey, can and so Stan Lee was at the end. Imagine a row of booths and a row of people signing. He was the end cap, and then there was a gap, and then there was another row of other stuff. So the guy goes, hey, can you come over here to the side into this little alleyway and just hang here? We're like, okay, cool, whatever. And so we stood there for like a few minutes, and then the guy came back and he goes, listen, we just talked to them. You have stuff to get signed, right? I said, yeah, I got stuff to get signed. He goes, one of you stay here, and the other one can bring the stuff to get signed. We'll bring you right now to the front, get it signed, and done. So me and my buddy were both very excited to meet Stan Lee. He was obviously also very excited. And I said, you know what? I'll take the hit. Like, you go. I'll just, I was like, in my head, I was like, maybe I can get back in line at some point or whatever. I don't know why I was thinking. I was just like, you just go. And so he's like, you sure? I said, yeah, go ahead. It's fine. I'll stay with the kid. I'll stay whatever. So him and his service dog go around the corner. I lose sight of them because they go around the corner and gone for a few minutes. And like usually these things, they sign and go. So he's gone like 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm thinking like, oh, he's getting to talk to Stan Lee, and he's just, whatever. Here I am, whatever. I've got the kid. And then my buddy comes around the corner, and his eyes are huge. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Like, like his mind was blown. And he goes, he's coming. He's coming. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And right behind him, around the corner, comes Stan Lee. And like immediately, like the security like blocks off both sides of the alley. So in this wide alley stretch, it's just me, my buddy, and Stan Lee. And obviously the little kid and the service dog. And Stan Lee is just, he's Stan Lee. Like that, it's everything you would have wanted him to be. He's just like, hey, hey, true believers, I hear you guys, veterans and stuff. Thank you for your service and blah, blah, blah. He starts talking about his service. I was in the service a long time ago. Wow. And I'm just like, like whatever. And at one point he puts his hand on my shoulder. I just remember thinking like, he's got this massive hand. Like he was a tall dude and just aren't like pterodactyl of a man, just huge. And I just remember he put his hand on my shoulder and I'm like, he was like palming my entire shoulder. I was just like, I was just like, wow. I was like, wow, these are the hands that have created Spider-Man and all the Marvel universe. And he was so nice. And he like your ticket guarantees like one signature. And he saw we had like a bunch of stuff. He's like, and he just starts signing everything. He was signing stuff that had nothing to do with him or Marvel. He's just like, I'll sign this and I'll sign that. He's just signing stuff. And he's like, hey, he's like, you guys want to get a picture? And I was like, yeah, I want to get a picture. And I just remember he just put one big arm around me and then one big arm around my buddy and had one of the staff take a picture. And like, honest to God, man, was just the most, he was with us like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I feel so bad for everybody else that was in line, but it was the most remarkable, amazing experience. One of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. What a sweet, sweet guy. I wish I had this podcast years ago because I feel like, I met him 3 times before he passed, and he was always super nice every time, and I'm almost positive he'd come on the show if I asked. Like I was like, hey man, you want to come on my podcast? And like, sure. So anyway, that's a lot. I know that's a long story, but Mike in the chats, thank you for asking me if I've ever met Stan Lee. Maybe next week I'll tell the other stories of the other times I met Stan Lee. But yeah, what a great time. Keith says, I got to meet him for 2 seconds years ago in NOLA, which I guess is that New Orleans? Or is that always because NOLA could be North Los Angeles? I don't know. Right after I got back from Afghanistan, great experience after getting back, except for the crowds. Yes. New Orleans. There you go. New Orleans. All right. Appreciate it, Keith. Thanks for the I always get confused which one's NOLA. Angie, awesome. Yeah, no, it really is. I'll be honest. I've been fortunate in my life to get to meet not just from celebrities, artists, comedians, directors, random. Because I bumped into Tracy Morgan on the street and we just chit chatted for a while. And I've also been at galas and charity events and different things. And I have hundreds of pictures. I should start posting them on the social media. Just pictures of times I've met celebrities and stories that go with them, like meeting Mick Foley, the wrestler, or Eli Manning at a charity event and talking with him, or oh my God, hundreds of stories. The time I met one of the Spider-Men, Andrew Garfield, and I literally, I'm such a dork that I was like, I've got a picture of a Spider-Man tattoo on my arm. And he's like, I have a picture of him kind of pointing at it going like, what an idiot. It's a great picture because he's like, what the fuck is this kid doing? So yeah, just recently, yeah, Pete, that's right. Just went to New York Comic Con last year and met Sensei Kreese from Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, which was hilarious because as we're standing there, there's a bunch of kids dressed like in the Cobra Kai gis. And they're just yelling out like, Cobra Kai, never die, or whatever the fuck the chant is. And even he was like, stop. Like, no. That was the funny one. But yeah, maybe I'll start doing like a story time at the end of every show. I don't know. All right, thanks, Mike, for the good idea. All right. Did I ever meet JDF? Oh my God, that's another good story. That's another good story. I did. I've met Jason David Frank multiple times because he was one of those guys. He was always at every convention. I've done New York Comic Con probably 9 or 10 times in my life, and he was there like every time. Super nice guy. Super, like, real quick, I'll just tell you, like, he was one of those guys that always had a long line and was always like hyping the crowd. Whereas most of the people, they sit there, oh, nice to meet you, sign. Oh, nice to meet you, sign. Listen to you, oh, I love you, thank you, sign. Like, JDF would be the guy that he would like get up on his chair and he'd be like, yeah, let's go. And like would be pumping up the crowd and taking pictures, like doing like Instagram live and like doing all this stuff. And like it was like always just doing crazy. Like every time I'd walk by, like he would be doing some kind of, like he'd be running back and forth along the line of like of signatures. I remember one time I was there and I was like, hey man, like, would you sign this? And he's like, yeah, man, no, fuck it. Like I had cause I do a lot of stuff with Wounded Warrior Project. And so I had I think it was my hat on. He's like, oh man, you're a wounded vet. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh man, cool. Let's sign it. And it's funny because he goes, you want me to get everybody else to sign? Like, this is this is New York Comic Con. You're paying $50, $60, $80, $100 per signature if you want all these signatures. And there's some crazy ones. So like, I remember clearly Hulk Hogan was at one end of the line and he was charging some I want to say it was like $400. Like something astronomical for signatures. And I was like, who pays for that? First of all, I don't like pay like you $50 for an autograph. Like, I don't like, everybody knows me. I rarely ever pay for an autograph ever. But it was so funny because he goes, you want me to get these guys to sign it? And I was like, well, yeah, if you do. So he went to like table to table to table and had them sign this thing. So I have this placard that's signed. Hulk Hogan was one of them. He signed it. Like, because JDF said, hey, sign this, they did. So this placard with like a bunch of random people, a guy from Supernatural and someone from Stargate and like it's just random people. But yeah, that was just the guy that JDF was, man. He was just one time, me and my buddy, me and Mike once ended up on his, I don't know if it was like a Facebook Live or something like that. But we were talking to him and he was like, can I shoot a video for this? And we're like, all right, yeah, sure. And he's like, yeah, I'm here with these two warriors, these two heroes right here and blah, blah, blah. And we ended up on, I don't know if it was like his Facebook or his Instagram or something like that. So we ended up on, such a weird thing. And we'll save it for another day, but I got to tell you the story about how Mike was once molested by Manu Bennett, the guy that plays, what did he play? He was in Spartacus, but then in the Arrowverse, he was Deathstroke. Yeah, he gave, he oh God, I love that story. We're gonna tell that story another week. Another week we'll tell that. The next time I get Mad Mike as a co-host, we're gonna tell that story about the time Manu Bennett was inside of him. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Angie says, great idea. We only see what the media says. It would be great to see a veterans. Yeah, okay. If you guys like that, I'm gonna do that. I don't know. Either I'll do it on the show live or I'll post the pictures and just write stories along with them or something. Make sure you bring Mike, if you're out there, make sure you bring the doll to show us where Manu Bennett, where he touched you and where he hurt you. So that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been an absolute blast. I've had so much fun, as I do each and every week. Please make sure you tune in. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Pop Culture Warrior. We've got it all. Support WTF Nation Radio, who bring you this wonderful show on this wonderful station. And with that, I got nothing else for you. just come back next week. See what nonsense we get into. That's it. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Shots.
Doc! Oh, no! We're too late! We missed it! Oh, jeez, this is heavy. Ah, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Doc, I got a time machine. I'm just gonna punch in the coordinates. Pop Culture Warrior, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WTF Nation Radio. Now crank this bad boy up to 88 miles per hour.
Let's see it.